Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
All right. I'm sure everyone's heard of this. LeBron James doing a podcast with Redick. It's going to be, trust me, it's going to all be about the X's and O's of basketball. But before we get started, I want to say a couple things here. All right. There's a run on first, and there's no outs. Your 6 and 4 are in a double play depth. Run on first is a threat to steal a base. So your 6 and 4 do an open closed mouth signal to each other. To signal who's going to cover second base on a steal.
Yeah.
The hitter at the plate is a notorious opposite field hitter or a oppo hitter. Right? So the 6 is definitely covering the bag, right? Because when the hitter hits the ball, he might hit it to the opposite field, and then your 6, ball's not likely to go to the 6, so he would then cover second base in case there's a hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the hitter is an opposite field hitter, the catcher calls for an off-speed pitch, which means they're more likely to pull the ball. And guess what? The shortstop knows that signal because there's coaches and other players signaling all to each other of like what play is happening, what pitch is coming. In fact, a guy like Alex Rodriguez used to call pitches for the team from shortstop. No, I'll call that a rumor. It's a rumor, but like I could believe it. So that means your 6 needs to be ready for a ball to come his way. And then, boom, a curveball is thrown. The batter hits the ball on the ground to the 6 for an easy 6-4-3 DP. Now, someone in the comments, please tell me what the fuck I just said.
Wait,
I know. Yes, I'm recording.
Fuck!
Now, I've never played in the major leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just threw out a bunch of shit that the normal baseball fan, or normal sports fan, or a normal baseball fan, probably don't fucking know what I'm talking about or what I'm saying. Now, does that make it complicated? Not really. I think it's easily explainable. Right? Your 6 is your shortstop. Your 4 is your second baseman. Your 3 is your first baseman. Right? The guy's gonna hit the ball this way. So what we do is we have this guy cover the bag on a steal instead of the other dude because the ball is more likely to go to the other dude. Like it's pretty basic and simple if I explain it to anyone. I think like kids can understand this.
Yeah.
With that said, this is not me trying to knock what LeBron and Redick do in this video in particular, right? Because they're going to do more, and maybe they get more detailed with their X's and O's. But what I heard here, it's like they're using a bunch of like jargon that are just basic basketball plays that I think the normal person can understand. And what I'm seeing is dick riders on the internet are like, whoa, this is the new standard for basketball talk. Because we all have to learn like what 4X and 5X are. When really he's just saying 4 and 5, as far as I understand, right? When he says 4, he means the power forward. When LeBron says 4X, he means the power forward. Same thing with 5X. 5X means center, 5 means center. But because we're not used to using that language, it might sound more complicated than really what it is. And then also, just watching the gameplay itself, like watching games of these guys, like, oh, well, okay, high pick and roll. How all the kids do it in 2K, right?
Yeah.
When they're trying to do their dribble moves and they run out of stamina, like, fuck, call screen. All right, screen, get up here. Let me use that. Step back 3. This is how the pros do it. Watch me in 2K. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to use that baseball example to show you, like, they're going to use certain languages that sound super complicated, but I think people can understand if you just, like, show them exactly what you mean by it. And I think that's pretty, like, right, common sense. Now, the problem is there's going to be something that's said in here about basketball IQ it's like I'm not trying to hate on LeBron. I'm really not. It just comes off that way. Maybe I'm biased from hearing all these, like, all these videos that make LeBron look bad. Maybe that's, maybe it's brainwashing me and conditioning me. But when he starts talking about basketball IQ and how much he has, then I'm watching him just use a bunch of jargon and shit to like, I guess maybe to make us feel like, yeah, he is smart. Wow, look at that. I never heard of a floppy or a horns or a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, holy shit, what is that? Man, these guys are basketball geniuses. If he's doing that, he can eat a bag of dicks. If LeBron's doing that, he can eat a bag of dicks. Because anyone can do that in any sport. I just did it right there with baseball. I know I don't have to talk like that. I could easily make it easily explainable for people. So I just wanted to use that, just put a little like reflection on it. So that, because I see a lot of fanboys on the internet saying like wow, the new standard of talking about basketball. Like, well, when people talk about basketball, they're using the eye test and they're using their own language to explain what they're seeing. Do they know every little detail about basketball? No. Do I? No. But some things seem pretty obvious. Like, oh, it looks like LeBron does not have a great mid-range jump shot. Wow. Did I need to understand a 5x floppy screen right stagger? Like, did I need to understand that to see that? I don't know.
Aren't most of his points just him slashing and fast breaks?
Well, we'll see some stuff. We'll see some stuff here. But all right, let's continue. Let's play the video. Let's get into this. I hope he's actually doing it to try to portray some sort of like, put some sort of education on the game of basketball. But this first episode, I'm kind of flinching and squirming and cringing that, like, are you being like a narcissist here? Like, I can't tell, man. I can't tell. But here we go.
The office, and obviously some things came up. We didn't make it work, so
That's a great sound, by the way.
we were both on the same page. We were both on the same page, which I love. It's funny.
I think you missed
called
that
your
joke.
game Wednesday night against the Clippers. You had just an insane fourth quarter, and I was talking about, as it relates to you, competitive stamina, which is simply the ability to do something at a high level and then get up the next day and do it again. And for you, that's happened season after season, year after year. I think the best players have a level of competitive stamina. And
I wonder why.
it's one of...
God?
No, I mean, I agree. There's one thing you can't take away is he's able to recuperate at an insane level. Play a lot of minutes, come back, do it again.
Are you being tongue-in-cheek there? Are you?
I'm being both tongue-in-cheek and also like, yeah, it's an irrefutable thing of his. Like, even though LeBron hater has to admit, like, yeah, this guy, he's very durable and very has a lot of endurance.
That's fair.
Probably the best aspect of his game.
That's
He's
fair.
always available if he's playing.
Now, I think the people watching it who don't like LeBron as much will say something like what JJ Redick's saying of competitive stamina. He's saying like the guys who come back, they're willing themselves to come back in order to win the game, to be competitive and win the game. And then people will be like, well, I remember those years in Boston when he just gave up on the team, like his last year with the Cavs before he went to Miami. Like, they'll point out situations like that. So, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole to LeBron. I'm not trying to be, but I'll just point out anything I can think that pops into my head about any of this.
Well, also, like, game in, game out. Like, dude, it's the last time he's played 70 games.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking for 82.
Yeah.
Just give me 70.
Yeah. And then LeBron was talking about this game being a back-to-back. Like, they played LA, and then they played someone else after that. And I'm not even sure if he played that game after. Because it was a back-to-back. He's like, fuck, we might be taking a day off tomorrow, so, we got to play this game hard. Or got to try to win this game. I'm like, all right. But, all right, here we go.
Well, George knows who back.
Three qualities for me that make a great basketball player. Because your quote after the game, it was, I know I was born with some gifts and athletic abilities, but that only gets you so far.
For sure.
What are the qualities for you? that make a great basketball player beyond just talent and skill set and size?
Knowing the history of the game. Knowing the history of the game, knowing the ones that came before you, knowing the ones that paved the way, knowing the reason why you're actually having the ability to actually live out your dream. That doesn't happen without the people that came before you. It doesn't happen without Bill Russell, going through what he went through during the civil rights movement and all those things. Oscar Robertson going on with what he had to deal with, during those times. It does not happen if they're able to just be pure in who they are. That allows us to now perform and do it with no care. Also, I think discipline at people, people use that word so loosely.
What does it mean to you?
You have to have the ability, when it comes to discipline, it's like you have to sacrifice loved ones.
The Illuminati. I knew it, the Illuminati.
Yeah.
No, trolling.
You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. It is very unfortunate, and you feel it at times. You know the saying: if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot.
I really hope this doesn't get copyrighted.
Discipline to sometimes
I really
you have
hope.
to sacrifice loved ones in order to be great because they don't understand,
What's up?
and that's okay.
Hold on.
Sorry, one more time. Say that.
Where did this take place? What channel? Who provided this?
It's just YouTube, and it's
No.
their own channel called
There's
My.
no fucking way. There's no fucking way we're getting copyrighted for this shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
You could. You definitely could. Now, if I see other channels covering it and they don't get copyrighted, and if I'm critical and I get copyrighted, I'm going full LeBron conspiracy, bro. Going full conspiracy theory. But I'm joking, obviously. I'm not here to fucking shit on LeBron. I do have some things that are just noticeable to point out. But yeah, I'm not here to shit on him. Either way, here we go.
They don't understand what it means to, I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home after everyone leaves the gym, I'm going to take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably going to train again. And then I'm going to have dinner. And then I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do that every single day for a long period of time. That's sacrificing and discipline. And for me, I was 18 when I came into the league. So I got my best friends from high school that's now in college. I got one that's at Ohio State. I got two that's at the University of Akron. I have another one that's at a school in West Virginia, Fairmount State. And they're calling me, telling me, hey, bro, you gotta come down to these parties. You're not going to college. You're never going to be in college. And I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I look back on it now. I wish I would have done a few of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I did. But then the third thing, JJ asked, do you really love the game? Do you really love the game? And I'm not just talking about wins and losses. Do you really love the process of the game and everything that happens before the referee does this? That's the easy part. You know this. You was one of the first ones in the gym, one of the last ones to leave. Everyone sees when the cameras are rolling and the 20,000 fans are there and the cheerleaders are dancing and the popcorn is popping and the celebrities are sitting in celebrity row. But who has the love for the game when nobody is there?
I love all of that. And it's interesting, the love of the game part is
Kind of
so
cliche,
funny
but
to
all
me
right.
because
I'm with it.
I think there's a distinction
Mm-hmm.
between loving the game, i.e. the game, the
Yep.
actual competition itself,
Yep.
and what it means to actually love the game and everything that goes into that. You hear guys all the time, I just want to play. Okay. Do you want to do all the things that are necessary that lead up to playing the actual game.
The guys that say I just want to play won't. Their career won't be long.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to put in all the intricate parts of to get to that point. It's not going to last that long. It's not going to last that long. You won't have a long, sustainable career, and that's okay. Some guys, I mean, you've been in a locker room. Some guys don't really care about playing a long time in this league or having a sustain. So sometimes I look in like some of the all-star locker rooms I've been in, and you see a guy 1 year, or you see a guy maybe 2 years, and then he's not in the locker room anymore after that, and you just like wonder to yourself why. You know, you don't know. You don't know if it's the max contract that he got after he made the all-star team. You don't know if now they know him by one name for one summer. You know, you just don't know. But it's like,
You could have injuries. You can have a whole bunch of circumstances. Maybe they went to a bad team in that max deal, or stayed on a bad team, and maybe the coaching staff started drifting away from him on offense. A whole bunch of things can happen. And also, there are guys who, at least seemingly, just roll out of bed and can just put up 40 points. They just know how to score the basketball. Like, they're just good like that.
AI.
I mean, AI worked hard. I'm pretty sure about that, even though he didn't want to practice. But he probably worked hard at his craft, I would think. Maybe not as hard as maybe like LeBron's 24/7 fucking. Once I'm done shooting, I go to the gym and make sure my body's all in shape and all that stuff. I don't know if he's like that, but he worked decently hard. Yeah, but yeah, he's got a point there. But I'd have to assume there's some guys who are just like, listen, this shit got me out of a bad financial situation. I'm in the NBA. I'm gonna live. Yeah, I got contracts where I got to play for these motherfuckers, but I just. But they have such a talent that they can roll out of bed and just score points if they have to. But maybe they won't be at LeBron status as far as like winning titles and doing all that. But maybe they can last 10 years, 15 years in the league just by doing what they've been doing. Who knows? But all right, here we go.
Like if you want to be great.
So far, an interesting podcast, right?
Or not even.
Just
I don't
interesting.
even say that.
Like kind of have his mind picked a bit.
If you want to maximize everything that you have with your career and your ability, then squeeze the fuck out of that lemon.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I want to talk about each of those three things a little in depth, because I also have three things. But the history of the game part's interesting to me, because you brought up Oscar Robertson.
Mm-hmm.
And whether the casual fan knows this or not, Oscar Robertson sued in 1970 for free agency. And that court case took 6 years. So the NBA really didn't have any form of free agency until 1976. Side note, in 1977, at the time in free agency, you had to compensate the team that was losing the player.
Mm-hmm.
So Gail Goodrich left the Los Angeles Lakers and went to the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
The Jazz compensated the Lakers with some future draft picks. One of those picks turned out to be Magic Johnson.
Magic.
It's pretty interesting. You talked about the discipline. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool, though. It's like soccer now.
Yeah.
It's like soccer. You got to compensate the club in order.
There wasn't real unrestricted free agency. John Koncak was the first guy, and that was like 1987.
Right.
It just didn't exist.
Right.
So
Right.
The reason, I didn't make as much money as you, but the reason I got to make a lot of money in the NBA is like, it's a direct line.
If you thought I was going to ask about LeBron going to Miami, you would be wrong. I would say that to you right now. If you thought he was going to reference the Miami Heat after that, like, look, Oscar Robertson did this. He sued the NBA, and then it led to free agency happening. And then it's like, it landed you in Miami. Like, you're wrong if you're thinking that.
I thought like, yeah, free agency helped you get a ring. That's what I thought when he said.
No, JJ Redick is never saying anything like that. Well, okay, if you say it in a nice way, then
that's what I was thinking when he said that.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, if he said it in a JJ Redick way, where it's like, well, free agency led to you directly winning a ring, which would, I think, for most people, be like, oh, dude, that's like an insult. But I don't know. Point is, he's not going to be talking about Miami. Here we go.
Mind Oscar Roberts.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so let's celebrate that, right?
Mhm.
You talked about the sacrificing loved ones. I always felt like my pursuit was so selfish.
Yeah.
And I would acknowledge that to my wife, my kids, whatever, my friends.
Yeah.
It was so selfish, but
Yeah.
it was like the only way that I knew how to do it. It's
That's
the
it.
only way.
That's it.
So you touched on those things. My 3 things are competitive stamina,
Mhm.
which I'm going to get to in a second. The love of the game is one of mine, for sure. Caring more about your craft instead of the other stuff that doesn't matter is a direct quote from you.
For sure.
And then the third one, I think, is basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Basketball IQ. I have described Nikola Jokic, I've described you as having supercomputers. Like your processing speed is a little.
Real quick, I'll go back. Someone actually hand holding those cameras? Why aren't they on stands? Why are they moving around like that? God damn it! I keep putting myself on fucking Texas
Yeah, yeah.
whatever it's called. Push to talk. Why? Is anyone else noticing like the cameras are moving around like they're like handhelds? You know what I mean? Like they're like handheld camera, like slowly, like someone trying to hold a camera still, instead of it just being on a stand. Like I don't know, why are they doing that? What's going on here? Just seeing a fucking cinematic. Just fucking put a camera on a stand and fucking play and hit record.
Maybe it is cinematic.
Maybe it is, but I'm like, so like, looks like the camera's moving around, like slowly moving around, like someone's holding it by hand. Like, what are you, fucking Nolan back here directing? Like, just fucking put on a fucking stand. Whatever. Sorry, a little pet peeve there. Here we go.
I have described Nikola Jokic. I've described you as
Look at it
having
moving.
supercomputers.
Why?
Like your processing speed is a little different.
Yeah,
I
I
put
see.
James Harden in that category.
Mhm.
I put Luka in that category. There's a number of guys
Yeah.
that have like a different processing speed. Some of this stuff, love of the game, that's a little bit of just desire,
Yeah.
attitude, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Competitive stamina, same thing.
Yeah.
Can you develop basketball IQ at the highest level? You can get a little smarter as a
Right.
player. Can you develop it as
You know
at
what's
the
funny?
highest level?
When you brought up basketball IQ, the first thing that came to my mind, I started thinking right away. I was like, are you born with basketball IQ, or are you taught the game the right way, and now the basketball IQ clicks on? Like I was literally just when you was explaining that, because I come from, I believe, great coaching. You know, from my little league coach, Frank
You saying that now, but later. All right, here we go.
Walker, senior, to my, at the time, AAU coach, Coach Drew Joyce, to my high school coach, who was a former college coach, Coach Dambrot, and then my AAU coach took over when Coach Dambrot went back to college basketball. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I was taught the game the right way. But the one thing that those coaches always told me, they told me that I had an uncanny ability to process information faster than anyone they've ever seen.
Who fucking says that? I'm sorry. I'm not here to hail LeBron, but who the fuck says shit like that, man? Yeah, right. I'm destroyed, bro. It's the second time I'm here. It just sounds worse the second time hearing it, bro. Oh, God.
his brain just works at speeds like
Yeah,
not other people.
He's a maverick. He's a maverick.
He's
But
like
wait,
a cat. He just thinks faster.
But wait. Later, he's
Yo,
gonna give an
yo,
example of it, bro. Go ahead.
He thinks so fast he can't make free throws.
he's gonna explain some things that things that he can pick up on that no one else can. Like I said, I'm not here to hate on LeBron, but this is fucking funny, man. And I like flinched when I heard that. I'm like, oh God, you just said that.
Yeah.
Uncanny ability to be a genius. Like what? What does that mean? Someone just told me that, you know. Anyways, here we go.
To process information faster than anyone they've ever seen. one coach, and this is, I know you're gonna smirk about this. There's guys in the NBA that if you call a play or a coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head and do it and say, let's run it to the other side without the coach drawing on the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I don't know. I never understood that. So if I say we running thumb down angle, we're running on the right side. So because I have a left-hand point guard, he wants to come middle to a strong hand. He has the ability to hit the pocket pass with the left hand, has the ability to throw ahead, he's lefty, and also has the ability to throw back on the shake. But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side, because now the
definitions on the
right-hand
screen.
guard
Ugh.
coming right, I've had teammates that's like, oh, what do you mean? Coaches always, in practice, we only ran it from this side.
Is he talking about a pick and roll on the wing and you can dump it off to your big man, or if the defense collapses, hit the man in the corner? Now, I'm not a fucking basketball genius, but that's what I thought I just saw in the videotape. You're telling me NBA players can't think to do that on the opposite side of the court?
Maybe he's right.
Maybe. But, like, that don't make him some fucking genius because, like, uncanny ability to understand. Like, go on, man. Like, maybe it's going to show up in their next episode where they do a lot more X's and O's. But I'm telling you this, the little baseball thing I read in the beginning, right? It better not be like that, where it's just jargon differences, right? Where you're just using particular jargon. It better be actual, like, schemes that are genius, that this guy understands and knows how to flip and turn it upside down and ad lib off and all that shit. That's what I want to hear. Because a pick and roll on the right side of the 3-point line, like, come on, man. Oh, you don't know the term? It's the thumbs down with the 5X.
No. I'm actually giving him too much credit. I feel like wouldn't that like give a competitive advantage to teams playing you? You discussing this, but it's like it's so simple that it's not even like.
Well, they're all running it, bro. They're all running. Hey guys, all sit on the wings and corners and run pick and rolls.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not even worth me thinking that. Like, this is simple shit I'm saying. This is not fucking the NFL, bro. The NFL, this shit's different.
Yes.
This is more like instinctual. There's no game. There's no really like you could do, bro. You and me can do this shit in a fucking rec league.
Like, I think he's instinctually intelligent. I think he is, 100%.
I think he's very instinctual.
Yes.
I give him that. I've heard him on Shepherd talk about him.
Yeah, bro, I'm very sure he's like brilliant on the court. But when unless they're like maybe they're doing what you're saying, where they're trying to hide schemes and shit like that. Maybe. To where like that thing you just explained to me is like, yeah, guys can't even like flip that play around. Like, are you sure? Like, I flipped it around in like a second. Do it on the opposite side of the court.
Yeah.
A pick and roll the 3-point line on the left side instead of the right side. Okay. But maybe that's just a dumb example for him to like explain what he's saying. Whatever. Here we go. Oh.
I could flip a play when I was 8 years old. No matter if it was just pass and cut.
Yeah.
No matter if it was let's run flex, but let's start on the left side. No matter if it was.
Yeah. That shit killed me too. Yeah, I could do this when I was 8 years old. Motherfucking pros can't do this shit. Pros still can't do this. I know some guys. It's like, oh no, here we go. But when I was 8, I could do this.
Yeah, I'm a little kid genius.
It was like I don't know if he's just like, this is me being just blatantly honest, and this is how good I am. Like, I'm not trying to say how good I am. I'm just saying like this is what I understand, this is what I know to do. The problem is that he's like kind of putting down others. Like, guys can't even do that shit, bro. Other guys can't do that. That's kind of where it comes off as like asshole-ish and narcissistic, right? I mean, that might not even be him trying to be an asshole. It's just him just.
It comes off that way. But
actually being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's not trying to be an asshole, but he's just like just being an asshole, like not realizing he's putting down professional players, which is something I heard before when they were talking about it. He was talking about his kid. He's like yo, my kid could make the roster today.
Yeah, he was like, it's like, with his kid, it was like, yo, you're delusional, bro.
Yeah, but he's like crapping on his own team. Like, yeah, you think
I
this
know.
fucking 18-year-old can make our team? You're saying he's better than me already?
Yeah, go tell D'Angelo Russell that your kid can take his job. Like, give me a break.
Christ. But all right.
No matter if it was let's run flex, but let's start on the left side.
I love how it's called flex,
No
right
matter
when
if it
he's
was
like
just,
kind of flexing his own
it's
basketball intelligence.
DHO driving kick. The last one. All right, now let's just drive the baseline
DHO.
drive drift. If the forward on the left side is looking at the ball, you can slot cut. I could do that. I was doing that stuff when I was like 8, 9 years old, and my coaches would just be blown away, and I wouldn't know where it came from. I have no idea. So to get back to your question,
Now, well, clearly you were blessed by God. God touched you himself, LeBron, and that's why you're so a basketball brilliant mind. But he's doing things like DHOs. I think he means dribble handoff. I didn't even look that up. I'm guessing he means dribble handoff. And it's like, well, we all know what dribble handoffs are. There's a button for it in 2K. We know what that shit is. So it's like it's the same thing when you're playing the show, and it's like, and what was his name, Matt Van Scourgen or whatever the fuck his name is, like, oh, and they turn a 6-4-3 double play, and then you think about like, okay, so it went to the shortstop, and it went to the second baseman, and he turned two and threw it to first base, 6-4-3, wow. But to someone who doesn't know about any of that, it'll sound like some sort of complicated thing is happening when it's really not. Someone who's more of a basketball aficionado can explain to me if I'm like just missing something that's actually brilliant here, or if he's just using jargon to like maybe that's how he talks, right, like in basketball terms, but still, like, you're talking to an audience, so maybe you can like say it for them, like what you're saying, right? You could say dribble handoff. You could say that, dude. But here we go.
Years old, and my coaches would just be blown away.
He's just building I wish I could help him. He's just building the narrative against them.
So to get back to your question,
with this shit,
I think I was born with a sports IQ, and it could have been any sport, but I just think basketball was the one that I chose, and maybe I was chosen to do that as well.
I forgot he said this. He was born with a sports IQ, and you know what? It could have been any sport. If he found baseball, he's gonna be spinning circles around my fucking head because he's just sports IQ brilliant. Like, come on, man, this is not that sad. Like, I was chosen. Like,
the chosen one, yeah. He's literally.
Oh man. Well, here's the thing. I do think I believe in a spiritual idea of the world. And I'm like, yeah, you were chosen to play basketball because you're playing basketball, right? You were chosen to be like at this level of basketball because you're actually doing it. I think there's there's something to that. But at the same time, when you start going off about it with people, like, let the guy across from you tell you that. Don't go up here and say it yourself. You look like an asshole, man. And people are gonna call him an asshole for it. There's gonna be a lot of dick riders too. We're like, whoa, I didn't understand the X's and O's. I didn't know what DHO meant before. I didn't know what a flex offense was. I didn't know what these things were before. What's a pick and roll again? Like, people are going to dick ride, but at the same time, the people that are already looking to not like you, man, or people who are maybe like feel like a mask came off and they're like getting reasons why they don't like you type shit, which is, I think, increasing. Like, yeah, you look like an asshole doing this, man. You do. It's like you're not doing yourself any favors, and this has nothing to do with what he's saying right here. Has nothing to do with X and O's, which is what I thought they were going for initially. But maybe they'll do that later, and this is just a introduction thing to let us know that LeBron's a genius at this, and all his coaches have told him so. See how it comes off? I'm just saying. All right.
Off.
Good, good.
No, it comes off crazy. Yeah, she comes off.
I think I was born with a sports IQ. Guess what? If I was a bowler, you're getting wrecked. Fucking. Who's that dude who does like suck it when he hits a when he gets a strike?
I know you're talking about. Dude's crazy.
Pete something.
I don't know.
He's like, yo, I would have took your job if I put my sports IQ to bowling. Yeah, and it just as a kind of side note before I start playing the video again, I don't. It is developed. It is straight up developed, 100%. Because this idea of sports IQ, I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what that means until you do a sport and you build your IQ in it. I don't know what sports IQ means before. Are there people walking around with sports IQs that don't play sports? So like, just epistemologically does not make sense to me.
Well, it could be like I could be like, oh, like you think John Jones was born the way he was, or he fucking learned it?
I think it's some life experience that contributed to him like being able to be a certain way. And a lot of John Jones shit is brute strength, right? And brute power. Right? He's not fully like, I'm fully scheming. Right?
No.
Maybe he learned how to be playful. Right?
GSP.
Yeah. So
Like Floyd. Floyd is more a better example.
yeah. Well, if there's any kids out there, yeah, maybe sure there's some athletic gifts that are there genetically, physically, but I think you can develop those too. But more importantly, to think and learn a skill, maybe you have to work a little harder because your body's not up to the task. You can fucking go do it though. You can. You can learn these things.
It's not a death sentence to be.
We all have these things. I think we all have these intelligences. We just have to work them like a muscle.
Didn't Mike Tyson say he doesn't? It's like something like he doesn't believe in talent. Like it's about who like works the hardest, essentially.
Maybe I haven't heard that quote from him, but I could believe it.
Yeah.
Especially him training with Cus D'Amato. I can 100% believe that he would say that.
Yeah.
So, but once again, it just comes off as assholeish when LeBron says it. It's just, or when he says what he just said. But here we go.
Took it to a whole, as I got older and your mind gets, you start to live it. You start to want to be a part of it. You start watching. I started watching the games, you know, when I was like 19 years old. When I first started, I was watching just a fan. I was just a fan of Michael Jordan and Anthony Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and, you know, those guys. I was just a fan. But then when I started playing the game, I actually started like studying what those guys were doing out on the floor and what teams were doing, how teams were guarding, how coaches were coaching, you know, subbing patterns, you know, time of possession. You know, one thing that kills me, Jay.
That you'd have to prove to me.
I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
The 2-for-1 shot at the end of quarters.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand why the 2-for-1 is important. Obviously, it's numbers. You get 2 possessions, the other team gets 1 possession.
In theory, it's a free shot.
In theory, it's a free.
I think this point is actually interesting. I think it's common sense, but maybe I have a high sports IQ. I don't know. To me, it sounds like something obvious, but I still think it's a good point. Like people, instead of falling into this, you know, pattern of, oh, it's 35 seconds left on the shot clock. If I shoot it now, then you know we'll get a second possession because the shot clock is only 24 seconds. Blah blah blah, blah all that shit, right? So
instead of getting a more high quality shot, whenever the time is.
That's what LeBron's going to make the point of we need to get the high quality shot, especially if we're struggling, right? There's no reason to chuck a 3 when just to get a 2-for-1. Like that's like I agree with him completely. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking breaking old habits. I would call that definitely intelligence there, 100%. Wait, here we go.
Free shot. But what people sometimes don't account for, the 4 or 5 possessions before that. Are we on a run? Are we on a heater? Have we gotten a good shot over the last 2.5 minutes? What is the other team doing? How are they in a great rhythm? If we haven't gotten a great shot in 2.5, 3 minutes and we've been turning the ball over, why am I just going to dribble down and shoot a 40-footer with 33 on the clock? Why not get a great look? Because that great look at the end of the third, even if we get one shot, may give us momentum going into the fourth quarter.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's interesting because I think it does fuck with the flow of the game. And as a player, I felt that. As a broadcaster now, where I'm calling games, you have such a good feel as like an outside observer of this action happening. So, end of the second quarter.
I also understand what
you're going in.
God?
I also see the comparison he's making. Like in the heat of the game, you may not think that way, but when you're like removed,
Yes.
and you have time to think about it, you can be more even keel about it, and start to look at that, because that's how I probably look at it, the way I look at it right now, because I'm not part of the game. But in the heat of the game, like, yeah, you might look at it differently.
Yes. Very true. And usually, God?
No, I just said it. No, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Usually the most intelligent players will come up with their own sense of like rules to follow, of like,
Yeah.
it's not just what play did coach call. It's, okay, well, the last 3 times I ran this play, the defense is reacting this way. So maybe I take some initiative and I use my intelligence for my observations. And then I develop a habit of doing that, of, okay, now maybe we do something different on this play to kind of like throw the defense off of it.
Make a rhythm, yeah.
And then let's say someone gets keen to that, then maybe you switch it up again. And then you start developing a library of reactions that you can pull from. Oh, I know what that is when that guy does that. Okay, so now I can run the play this way instead of another way. Like, yeah, 100%. Just got to be paying attention. That's it. And like LeBron was saying when he said he was watching when he was a kid, if he was doing that, it's like yeah, paying attention to the more attention you're paying, the more you're learning. It's not it's not necessarily he was blessed, gifted with this with the ability to like, okay, what are they doing out of timeouts? Like, anyone can do that. They just have to just be willing to pay attention to it. That's all. And care is number one thing. But all right, there we go.
Into halftime with the lead, you've established, let's say, a pick and roll partnership where you're getting a good shot every time down the floor. On the other end, you're getting stops. You're getting stops. So the other team's having, you're right. Why are you going to just jack up a 35-footer? Just go to the pick and roll, rely on your defense. Now, boom, you go into the half with essentially the same momentum you would have if you get the 2 for 1.
Yeah.
By the way, you shouted out your coaches. I want to say this because I think some of it is innate with basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Some of it is the way you're taught.
Uh-huh.
Some of it is going back to your point about discipline, the dedication to the craft. I gotta shout out my coaches now, because Delmar Irving, Keith Haynes, Dick Wall, my early coaches for the Roanoke Jaguars.
Yeah.
They taught me how to play.
Dick Wall.
They taught me how to play with toughness. I get to JV, 8th grade, Chris Morris, Billy Hicks. Then I go to Coach K at Duke.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the NBA, I knew how to process and think the game. It wasn't new to me. It wasn't new to me to think the game.
You also knew it was bullshit and what was not bullshit.
Yes.
There's a lot of bullshit that gets taught in our league because our league has been feast off potential. Guys with potential. They come in and say, this guy has potential. We have to, if it's not year 1, maybe year 2, or not year 3, or maybe year 4, or we're gonna pick up his option in year 4. Like, it's been grasped on potential. Like, that's the whole thing of the lottery. The whole thing of the lottery, pick 1 through 13 or 14, I don't even know what it is now when it cuts off like you've been a lottery pick.
It's
But
14.
it makes
right?
sense why those guys that's like 16 to 30, 16 to 42, why those guys be on real contending teams making impacts.
Also, why is it the same teams that always draft well? And the same teams that always draft poorly?
I'll tell you when I get my team, the teams that draft
Wait,
well,
what?
those guys will be working for me for sure.
Just you get to offer them a bag.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to get
OKC,
Yeah,
OKC does an unbelievable job with
That's
that.
a fact.
I can see that.
Yeah, me too.
He got the money.
You think it'd be the Cavs?
I mean, he can't do any worse. It might as well be. I don't think he wants to live in Cleveland. To be honest.
Wait, is it a scheme to pass Michael Jordan again? Like who's the better owner, LeBron or MJ? And LeBron's gonna
Well, I mean, yeah, MJ's a terrible owner. To be honest about that.
LeBron's gonna hire a super team of GMs and scouts to try to take him over. He's gonna every title he wins, he's gonna count it towards against Michael Jordan. Like, look, I got 10 titles. MJ only got 6. Like, bro, you were owner for all those. They count. I did the work. I'm just trolling. All right, there we go. For sure, I think he's gonna own a team though, or maybe be like a part owner or something.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely be the owner. He's got the money.
But there we go.
Fact.
Yeah,
It's a fact. I was thinking about, you know this. So by like the end of my first year with the Clippers, we realized all of my catch and shoot stuff. I wanted to come over left shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Right. I wanted to come to my right.
Yes, sir.
And so for the next 3 years, every single time we drew up a play was to do that, right? When I got to like Philly, to your point about like guys not understanding this, I got to like Philly and New Orleans, the coaches would draw up a play in the huddle, and I'd be like, no, I want to come over my left shoulder.
Yeah.
Just flip it.
Yeah, just
And
flip.
What happened?
I didn't even know he played in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think I did.
walk out on the court, and then my teammates would be like, "Oh, what am I doing here?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, "No, just flip it." Which guys, by the way, the processing speed? I mentioned a few guys.
Yeah.
Guys you played with, guys you played against.
Yeah.
That you think have that sort of high.
Right. So when they're in practice, are they running plays only in one direction and not the other way? Is that what's happening? Holy shit, that's not very good. Did these guys work on going the other way? Pause. You know, like are they fucking their teammates over by like they were working out on their own, but then when the game happened, like, yo, we're flipping the play. What? No, John, you're screening now. Bob, you're fading to the corner here. What? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like as much as we're getting somewhat of some inside information, we're not getting as much information as we might need to put this actually in the full context. But whatever. Here we go. I'll probably only do a little more. What the fuck did I just do? Probably only a little more. Here we go.
Like you.
Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
For sure. He can process, flip, do things on the go. Like, it's very weird to me that he's not coaching at a high level. I think it's because he doesn't want to do it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And who wants to deal with all these rich, entitled guys all the time? It's just
You guys make too much money now.
It's just a weird thing.
You
man.
guys make too much
It's
money now.
it's just a weird
Let's
thing.
get a cheers, man.
Let's get a cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the wine, by
It
the way.
smells amazing, too.
Going back to that competitive stamina thing, because I was calling the game, and I knew this because I played in LA, but Clippers home games against the Lakers is not really a home game. Half the crowd are Clippers fans, half the crowd are Lakers fans. And so the arena felt very subdued, you know, because you guys were getting your ass kicked.
Getting our ass
And
kicked.
the body language was bad. I think I even mentioned that on air. Like, you just saw it in the huddles. You saw it coming out of timeouts, going into timeouts. You saw it when guys were getting subbed out.
Yeah.
Like, it was just bad body language. And then, as Darvin Ham said, you decided to put your cape on and lead this comeback. You outscored the Clippers by yourself in the fourth quarter. In that moment where you're down 19 in the fourth, it's a dead game. You know your team is, I call it like letting go of the rope. You know, Doc Rivers used to always say that. Don't let go of the rope.
Yep.
What goes through your mind?
But before he answers that, I don't understand why was that such a big deal of a game? I get it, that's like a great performance, 100%, great performance. But like Jimmy High Roller made a video out of it, and like he made a video out of this random regular season game against the Clippers who are missing people and shit like that. Like, why was that such a big deal? Once again, I'm gonna come off as like a LeBron hater. Like I'm not, honestly. Only a little bit, maybe a little bit. Whatever. The point is, like, why was that such a big deal? I didn't get that when it was happening. Other than like the sports broadcasts, like mainstream sports content and shit like that, are like, oh shit, look at LeBron scored 21 points in the fourth quarter and led the comeback against the Clippers. I'm like, oh, it's a cool like highlight for a day, but then Jimmy High Roller, who's guaranteed 1 million views on every video he makes, is like, he made a whole like video about it. I'm like, what? Like, why? It's amazing what a guy at this age is doing. And we need to make this historical. Like, he needed to make that game historical. I'm like, why? It'd make more sense to make his season historical than that game. I guess he did that too, but I don't know. It was like something weird with that game where it was weirdly like highlighted so much. Like, is that something that never happened before?
Apparently.
I don't know what the big deal was, other than like a great performance, right? Just like oh, Anthony Edwards dunk. Oh shit! It's like it's here for a day and then it goes away or something. Like, okay,
Yeah.
next game. But that one like stuck around for a little bit and it was weird to me. But I don't know. Here we go.
You probably got a few minutes to try to change it, or you're gonna get pulled. Knowing it's a back-to-back, knowing that okay, we lose to the Clippers, we got our ass kicked, okay, but we can't then the very next night lose to Washington as well. So I go out there down 19, with the lineup. I believe at the start of the fourth lineup was myself, D'Lo, Jackson Hayes, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish. So, Coach drew up a play. First play, I believe he draws up Horn's chest, and they fucked up. They fucked up on the Horn's chest. So we ran it again. And that's another thing that bothers me about the NBA too. Why do we not continue? Just run the same thing over and over until they stop it. Guys would run a play one time, then you would score, and then they'd change the play. But anyways, we ran it again, and they fucked it up again. So, I mean, for me, if I see 2 threes go down, I'm going to check and see if it's a heater in this right elbow for sure.
Now, I'm going to sound like a LeBron hater again, but are they purposely like, okay, make sure this guy does not get the roll to the basket, and then we'll lay contest on LeBron because they don't view him as, even though he's shooting 40% this season, right? Maybe they don't view him as the most dangerous threat from three-point land. They'd rather have him shooting out there than fucking getting a free pass to the lane, right? Or the big man. I think it was Jackson Hayes. I think it was Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or rather than giving up a free dunk to Jackson Hayes. I don't know.
So, I mean, for me, if I see 2 threes go down, I'm going to check and see if it's a heater in this right elbow for sure. And I hit another one. And at this point, now I'm feeling really good. I got a nice bounce in my step. We're getting stops, and I take one down the right wing, and PJ's picking me up in transition. And I rarely shoot the ball on the run, especially if the ball's in my right hand. I rarely shoot it. But I had a bounce and I had a feeling. I felt like I said, if
LeBron has no left.
I know. This is when like NBA Jam, you're on fire. If this one goes, and I let that one go from the right wing by their bench. That's when I kind of almost bumped into T. Lue. and they call a timeout. That's when I knew that the momentum can change.
T-Lou is nowhere near there.
You know, the momentum can change.
But whatever.
And once the
It's a cool narrative.
the snowball gets going down that hill, you know, snowball turns into the avalanche, and the avalanche just turns into it's over with. You know, so I just
They kind of live with that. Look at the way the guy's playing it. He's playing you to let you shoot that. To be honest with you, not just like you're right. He's not just gonna like stand there and not move. He's gonna contest, but he's not gonna be willing to fall for a pump fake or something like that, or a hezzy, right? He's not gonna be willing to fall for that and jump out of defensive position to try to block your 3-point shot or to overly contest your shot. They'll do that for like Steph or like really great 3-point shooters, but they're not doing that with you. He's kind of like, are you going to shoot it? Are you going to shoot it? If you do shoot it, I will wait until I see you actually jumping to take a jump shot. Then I will contest because I'm not letting you just run past me. So you are getting decent shots damn near every time you take a 3-pointer, LeBron. That's the way it seems, at least. And if he's hot like that, the Clippers should probably like catch on to it and then maybe force him off that line without giving up layups. You don't want to give up layups. But here we go.
just felt good at that moment.
It's a few things there. So, like with the 3-ball, we've seen it so often now. No lead is really safe.
No.
Think back to early in your career. I came in the league in 06, 07. I played no minutes my first 2 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we had a 19-point lead going into the fourth,
You
I might
drafted
get
him
out 12
the
minutes
Magic, I think.
of garbage.
Who drafted him? I think it was the Magic. I think it was the Magic.
And they were calling him like a bust or something.
Well, he was like the college man. Like he was the man in college. I remember watching JJ Redick.
Yeah, me too. Adam Morrison too, same draft.
Yeah.
Adam Morrison really flamed out.
Yeah.
Redick found his way.
He found his way, or the league found him. One or the other. Like, wait, we need more 3-point shooting.
True.
But no, I love watching him.
He's a skilled shooter. He's a good spot-up shooter.
He's an intelligent fucking basketball. Like I think just like LeBron, they're both intelligent basketball players.
Not as physically gifted, but yeah, he does understand the game.
Also, like give Bron. I don't know what their ages are, but like Bron came in 2003, and he's still going, scoring 20 something points per game. And Redick is out of the league.
Been at the league for 4 or 5 years.
So,
and he came in after him.
I know there's the whole Lebalco thing people are talking about, right?
But
and
until it's like proven beyond a shadow of doubt, got to give Bron props for that.
Yeah.
Gotta give him his props.
There's.
I have my suspicions, but yeah,
there's that.
I can't say they're fucking true until they are.
Yeah, there's definitely shit to look at for sure.
Yeah.
But
the man is fucking. Either way, he's a fucking physical specimen. Pause.
Yeah, and
gifted.
You can't just take shit and be good at something. Sorry.
No. Yeah, nope.
So this man worked his ass off. Do not ever take that away from him. As much as some people might want to do that, you can't.
Yeah. And a lot of pressure on him, and he came out better than all right. Considering the hype.
100%. He's not Kobe, though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hate on him, but but it's like that's some real shit though. Like it's like not even trying to hate on you and shit, but it's like, bro, it's like once we talk about the upper echelon of athletes, like in your sport, you're separated by these people. These people accomplish shit you didn't accomplish.
Right.
It's all, I don't know. Like I like Dragon Ball Z. It's like, bro, like there's levels to this shit, bro. Like let me think.
I hear people like, oh, Bron ain't even top 20. I'm like, are you crazy?
That's wild.
That's crazy to me.
That's wild. Like, I'm not even
unless you have the PED thing. Unless he gets straight up caught for PEDs, where I'm like, okay, his shit is boosted by chemicals, like where we just know it as a society. Then yeah, I'll give you that. Like I would drop him a lot because a lot of what he does is physical.
Yeah, even if he did PEDs, My problem wouldn't be so much that, it would be how the NBA has metamorphosed into small ball, which would allow a guy like him to thrive. And I feel like that's a way more of a performance enhancer than even PEDs would be. Where like we were
Quite
watching the
possibly.
highlights, that fucking lane's always open for him. Like it's always there because that's just. And I'm sorry, it's like if you look at how he's scoring these points now, and you tell me we've got better defenders now than ever, it's like, dude,
Oh.
how the fuck is he doing this shit? Because he's not old man Kobe in this shit. He's not old man Dirk. He's not old man fucking Jordan. He ain't pulling up from 20 like that. Like, yeah, this year he's got nice shooting numbers, but that's an aberration. It's an, what's it called? Aberration.
Yeah, it
It's
is. Yeah.
not. It's the fucking, yeah. It's not a rule. He's not old man in this shit. He's coming down the lane, fucking full force, and there's usually no one there. I'm sorry. There's usually no one there to stop him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give AOH Angry Old Hoops fans some credit here because if you look at LeBron when he's bullying into the paint, right? Let's say there is a defender there, he bullies through these guys and scores buckets, and it's like, well, LeBron's allowed to be physical, but if you get physical with
Yeah.
them, they're gonna call a fucking foul on you,
See the
100%.
same thing with Giannis. See the same thing with Giannis all the time. Like, yo, what these like I guess that aspect is the superstar call, like, or non-call part of it.
I mean,
Where
they're,
yeah, he's
they're gonna favor the superstar, and more
yeah,
importantly, they're gonna favor the offensive player.
elf,
They're more
yeah.
allowed. They're allowed to be more physical than the defender, which is like unfair as shit. It really
And
is.
honestly, yeah, that's I would love to pick the brain of these refs. Like, are they told this shit? Like that guy Samson was saying, like, are they told this shit? Like, yo, you can't like, yeah, like it's because it's crazy how you just worded it. How you worded it is a crazy statement to me. He's getting the superstar treatment and he's the offense. So it's like a double fucking like
It is. It is.
disregard. It's a double disregard to whatever the fuck he's on the offense. And I see it, but it's not him. I see it all the time, bro. The push off is crazy. These push offs are crazy. Like these guys get physical once they're like 4 or 5 feet away from the hoop. Like they motherfuckers use their hands crazy.
Yes.
But if a defender does that, you beep 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 immediately.
We need more points on the board. Yeah, actually, we should do a video soon. We'll do the Tim Donaghy like interview thing.
Yeah.
Like we'll do one of those, and
Wait, so
he'll
he's
explain.
out of jail now? How long? Well, how long was he in jail? Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he went to jail for probably like a year and a half or something like that.
Oh man, that's a good deal.
Well, he he gave some people up, I believe.
Oh really?
That were higher ups, you know, in like the mafia and shit. I think he did. Maybe fuck, I could be tripping. Maybe it was his cooperation that got him shorter
You
time
get
than
somebody
maybe.
that was so that way. Yeah, you're right.
His life was still
Um,
fucked after that. Like his career's gone. I think his wife
well, I
left
mean,
him and all that
yeah,
shit.
well,
But
it is what it is at
yeah,
that point.
yeah. You watch an interview, like because people have this misconception with Tim Donaghy that he was
But he's
fixing
alone.
that
Yeah,
that he was fixing games. He wasn't fixing
oh
games. He was
no, he
not
just
fixing games.
knew that he knew the patterns of calls.
Yes, he knew that the NBA would bring the refs in for a meeting and say, "Hey, Magic Johnson just got not Magic, maybe someone newer.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant just got on the line with the league, and he's like, "Yo, how come you ain't calling these calls?" And they go over videotape. Like, "Hey, you guys missed this call on Kobe. You missed this call on Kobe. Like, these should be fouls so that Kobe, like, these should be fouls in favor of Kobe that you guys missed." Then the next game they go out, what's gonna happen? They're gonna have a shortly, like they're gonna be blowing the whistle early when Kobe maybe Kobe gets fouled, or maybe they just get physical and they don't even foul him, but they're like more willing to blow that fucking whistle because the league is basically saying it without saying it of what you're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. And he knew that. He knew that inside information. Then he's like, "Yo, put money on the Lakers tonight."
Yeah, he bet accordingly.
So it wasn't really like fixing games. I think that's the misconception of the Tim Donaghy guy, and that's why it's such an explosive story actually, but no one's actually gone through it. I think the NBA has a big part to play in that. Twitter, like, yo, let's kind of shut this guy up and make sure he's discredited. He was like, look at this guy was just trying to throw games for the, but they can't really say that either, right? They can't say he was throwing games because then the integrity of their product gets a little fucked up. So
yeah, they can't. No, you're right. They actually did a masterclass. He's complicit in something, but he's not changing the fabric of the game. Like, how the fuck is it?
exactly.
How are both things able to live like without the other? Like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's cheating, but he's not cheating. He's not cheating the way you think he's cheating.
They gave him his news cycle and said, okay, the NBA's like, okay, now let's be done with him. Let's move on.
Yeah,
The playoffs are around the corner. Let's move on. Like, oh, it's much darker. And we'll go over that. We'll do that video. We'll do that video at some point. All right. A little bit more, just a little bit more.
Don't care about this shit, dude.
Oh, they don't know. And then if you
They
told
don't
them, would they
know.
care? Would they?
I doubt it. Some might. You might get some, but
I think people that have watched our videos will care. I think they'll care. But like, unless we have 2.7 million followers and we do a high production fucking podcast thing, we have camera angles and all that shit. Unless we do that, like, they might not recognize what's right in their face, which is why this show like can get away, like, oh, the X's and O's. Oh, we did a down screen here and then the backflip over there, and like, whoa, the complicated language of NBA basketball. This is now my new favorite podcast. Meanwhile, if they keep going with strictly X's and O's, people will stop watching. That's my guess. They'll start to have to like get like bot farms to view their videos at a certain point. Whatever. That's just my little theory about it. But all right, a little bit more.
This is continuously, like weekly or something.
Yes, this is once a week.
Yeah.
And I think they're just recording like maybe a couple hours at a time, then chopping them up and then releasing them one by one once a week. Right? Because he's obviously still playing, so he can't be.
Can't be wherever LA, I guess.
Probably LA, yeah. Granted, he's been in LA for like a month.
That's interesting.
Shout out to Two Raw for Sports, who's like, yo, look at their last like 20 games. They're all in California. There's 2 road games. And the 2 road games are like Sacramento and the Warriors. It's like, wait a minute. How the fuck did that happen?
Theoretically, he could be home the same day.
Yes. 100% good. He could tell Jeannie Buss, like, I need a private plane from here, and I got a podcast to shoot. She's like, all right, LeBron, here you go. All right, a couple words, maybe a little more, and then I'll stop it.
For sure.
People would clear their benches.
Yeah, for sure.
This was 15 years ago.
For sure.
People would clear their benches with a
sure.
17-point lead in the fourth and 9 minutes to go.
For sure.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light-skinned fucker came in the league, that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative. He did. He single-handedly changed the
Steph was stupid.
no lead is safe.
He was stupid.
It's like Pat Mahomes
when he started just
It's
free ball
interesting
shooting.
You bring up Steph because I think there's
Love that guy,
a
by the
long
way.
history
I love
of
Steph.
great players that have impacted the game. And you can see a lineage between different skill sets, right? Michael to Kobe, right? You can see that. I don't know that there's been a player that has influenced the game more than Steph. And you can certainly point to like Harden for sure in that era, Damian Lillard for sure, but you're right, it started with Steph.
When it comes to influence,
dude, but it's like, is it Steph or is it the fucking calls? Is it the rules?
I think with the 3-point shot, I think Steph has a big deal to do it. Just because.
Well, he has a big deal to do with it, but no one's shooting like him.
Exactly. Well, that was the thing. See, I think I heard someone explain this, another YouTuber, and he was saying something that I thought was interesting. It was like, yeah, these guys had these 2 dominant 3-point shooters, but that wasn't the team. Like, they were specialists. They're specialists at shooting 3-pointers, and obviously Steph can bring the ball up and handle the ball and all that shit. But Steph and Clay were like specialty guys. Like they ran plays for them. They ran the flop. What do they call it? The floppy.
Yeah, floppy. Yeah, they had Iguodala, Sean Livingston. These guys are fucking slashers.
Yes, they had roles for what these guys were doing. And then I think analytics happen to where they look at Steph and Clay and they're like, okay, these guys are shooting fucking 40-something% from three, right? But it's only two of them doing it. It's only two of them doing it. It's only two of them putting up this volume of threes and shooting 40-something%. Now, what if we had our point guard shoot like 37%? What the fuck just happened? Oh, Adblock. Thanks, Adblock, for interrupting my video. What if we had our point guard shooting 37%, but our center also shoots 35%? To where like it kind of equals out to Clay and Steph, and those guys are like winning titles and shit like that, right? I think that's what the analytics are about. Isn't that what fucking like true shooting percentage or effective shooting percentage means?
Yes.
Like the three has a weight to it. Good.
But just like baseball, it's flawed. It's a flawed way to do this.
I would think so.
It is super flawed, and any shortcomings are being fucking curtailed by the culture of how, I'm sorry to bring this up, defenses are played and like spacing and pace. Like yeah, those things they're different than how they were before. But at the same, so it's like you have to shoot better because no one's playing defense.
Yeah.
And then that's where the subjective reality of the refs making calls comes into play with superstars and things of that nature.
Well, if analytics say that, you know, like all right, like the 2015 Warriors, if they're saying some center shooting 33% from three, like, and then all these other guys shooting their percentages, which are below 40%, if their percentages equal out to Steph and Clay in like 2015 or whatever they fucking blew up as like Splash Brothers or whatever, right?
2016,
2015, 2016, okay.
2014.
2014, even 2014, whatever. If analytics are saying that, and then they're building defenses around those analytics, meaning they have a 33% shooting center, and you have a center like playing them all the way out to the fucking 3-point line instead of be like, you make 1 out of 3, so I'm not going to play you all the way out here. Like, I'm gonna I can still hold base at near the paint and play the paint, and
I think Kerr realized that.
Really. What do you mean?
I think Steve Kerr used what the copycat league was doing to him to his advantage because he did have the advantage of high percentage shooters on his team.
Yes.
That's why a guy like Draymond is even Looney. Those guys are important for that very reason. To where they can clog up the lane, knowing that like, oh, we'll live with the 4 and 5 shooting, whatever they shoot, because we're gonna outscore them and we're gonna stop any other kind of scoring coming within the lane.
Yes. If you watch,
I think Kerr, he realized that shit.
Kerr and maybe Draymond's a part of that. Maybe his like defensive intelligence with it.
Yeah.
Because I watched a video about this. There's like some coach, maybe he's a coach or something. Guy who just yells about defense all day and the lack of defense in the NBA. But he said something about Draymond which he called a positive, which is this guy's making the correct like showing that he's gonna like, hey, if you drive this way, I'm gonna meet you here. Yes, I will say fuck the man I'm guarding to stop you from getting here.
Yes.
And are other teams really doing that?
No,
all the other time I see this guy ranting, except in those clips I saw.
And then that's what I'm saying, bro. The prototypes: Iguodala, Livingston, Wiggins. You had these kind of wing players with Draymond and a center that's inclined to fucking clog the lanes.
Yeah.
They can win that way if Curry and Thompson are going to do what they're going to do. And then they had what was it? They had a couple. Was it McGaw? I think in McGraw, some shit like that.
Yes.
Now they got the kid Podinsky. Podinsky's like of the mold of those guards.
Yeah.
The Golden State, Golden State's like they're like a player. If they get another player to like replace what Clay was bringing to them, they could fucking be right back in it. Because Curry's still playing at a high level.
Yes. It'll take a
Like
while for shooting to go away.
Poole fucked them over. Yeah, Poole fucked them over. They thought Poole was going to be that player, and he wasn't. If the Poole had become what they thought he was, they would still be a dynasty.
Yeah. I wonder if teams observe that and shift back. Like, hey, we're willing to give up someone shooting 35%, which is basically 1 out of 3. It's like basically 1 out of 3. We're willing to we're not gonna just let it be wide open. Like, we'll contest it if we can get there, but we care more. There's more of an emphasis on stopping the shots that are like 60 and 70%, which is those ones 3 feet away from the basket, right? Like in the paint, which is LeBron's fucking happy zone, right? Where he shoots like fucking 70%.
Yeah,
like within 3 feet of the basket, where it's like, well, those are almost guaranteed baskets. These are 1 out of 3. These are like guaranteed. Let's stop the guaranteed ones, and we'll take a risk and let the power forward. Maybe he has a good game, and and it sucks, but we'll take the risk.
It's no different than what they do in baseball. Like, yeah, okay, go for the home run. I'm gonna get 4 or 5 strikeouts out of each one of you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's why it's like, bro, it's like, come on, it's like it's a flawed way to fucking play the game.
I'm still waiting.
That's why.
Good.
My bad. It's the two trains of thought: team basketball or this accidental basketball bullshit we got going. That Kobe fucking coin.
True.
And Kerr lived in that happy medium.
Yes.
Kerr understood he could use both.
Yes. No, that is exactly it. Because they run offensive sets. Fucking Steph is running off screens and Clay is running off screens all, like, at least in their prime years, right? They're running off screens all day and night. It's not just 4 spread to the corners and the wings and the point guard doing pick and roll only.
Curry's breaking down the defense. Yeah, then he's got people in positions.
Yes, when he has the ball. But he can give the ball up and run off screens all day. Like, good luck keeping up on him while he does that.
He happens to be a god with the step back, bro. He can't miss sometimes. That's a separated though.
I'm curious if there's like some sort of like, I'd be curious if there's like a second coming of Shaq. They play their 1 year college. They're fucking 7'4". They're taller than Shaq, right? But they're Diesel, right? They're Shaq Diesel. They're just dominating motherfuckers. Yeah. And the league's like, do we draft him number 1 overall? Like, what do we do? Can he shoot? He can't shoot. Do we? But look at him. Do we draft him? Like, I want to see the confusion
even if
happen.
Like Zion plus 6 inches.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm curious what would happen.
Yeah, that would be a fucking like game record. Like, oh shit.
All right, someone call up Tony Bosch. We need to make this happen. Find some 7-footer, give him all the drugs he can, build him up, and get Victor Conte. Make the clear. Cool. All right. Is that it? I think we can end it there, right? Let's hear it. If it goes somewhere like where I don't want to go, then I'll just end it. But here we go.
Watching the game. Since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game. And obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
Sure.
You know, Steph and Allen Iverson are the 2 biggest influential guys in our game since I've been watching it and covering it. You know, one, they're 6'3", 6'4", if you want to.
Steph AI is not 6'4".
If you want to look.
And AI's not 6'3" either. He's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
And Steph's like 6'2", 6'3".
Look on the back of a basketball.
God damn it. Fucking mouse.
Ball card, you know, you're always a lot taller on the back of the basketball card. You know, Allen Iverson and Steph, they were just so relatable, and kids felt like they could be them. They were guys that was not always counted on. They were small in stature, and they just defined the odds. So
that's okay place to end it there. Do you agree with them? Is it AI and Steph are the most influential players? Yes.
So what is he saying that like Steph felt comfortable being who he was because of AI? Because that's the only way I could put AI into it.
I think he's saying two different. Obviously, I've seen the rest of this. So what he's saying is Steph, as far as Steph, like changed the way basketball's kind of played, like straight up.
Yeah. And AI did what?
AI was more of all the kids were watching AI and they wanted to be like Allen Iverson, right?
Oh yeah.
With the armbands and all that shit, and they all wanted
Yeah.
to copy him. But I'm like, if you go that route, you got to say Michael Jordan. Like you have
Michael
to.
Jordan is
You kind of
yeah.
have no choice. As much as there was AI with his era thing, but there's also like, where do you think Kobe comes from? Where do you think T Mac comes from? Where do you think Vince Carter comes
Yeah.
from? Like
Vince
Grant
Carter.
Hill, all these players in that little era. And
D
after
Wade.
D Wade, like where do these guys
Come
come
on.
from? Dude, it's
Yeah,
MJ types.
it's like they would call it like the quintessential two guard. That's what the
Yes.
NBA wants, dude. The quintessential two guard.
He made shooting guard like now we
Yeah,
can
the
draft to
guy.
make these guys important.
Yeah, the god position. Yeah.
So you might as well throw like Wilt in there then. Like Wilt or Wilt
Yeah.
to where like the big man
Magic.
just
How the fuck no one not bring Magic into this?
Magic. But even, I think the big man even more. I think it's something like Wilt,
Yeah.
where it's like this guy or Bill
Well,
Russell.
I
There's
take Shaq over AI.
I would too as like a draft or something like that. Yeah, 100%.
Influential, like an influential player. Yeah.
No, because Shaq is just so one of a kind, right? Shaq.
No, but it's what you're saying. But it's what you're saying. Then, like, why isn't there another fucking one?
Maybe I think it's because of MJ, right? If Wilt started the big man thing to where it's like, oh, this guy's so, or Wilt and Bill Russell, right? Where like these big men are so dominant that we need to make everything big man, and then all of a sudden, you're like, yes, you have Bird and Magic, right? Where it's like more like a wing type of player or a point guard, where it's like, oh shit, look at these guys are winning. But when MJ steps in, now it's like a different level. It's something else. To where it's like, oh shit, we need to focus on guys who are dynamic scorers like this. That's the new focus. And AI, I think, is a part of that thing. Maybe not culture wise, AI definitely had a lot of influence. Obviously, MJ had more, but it wasn't changing the game of basketball. He was just doing shit that T Mac and Vince Carter and Kobe were doing, but smaller. Right? He's just doing he's doing the same things. But then Steph changed the game.
Jordan.
100%.
Yeah, it'd be Jordan Steph. Jordan and Steph.
I got Wilt, MJ, then Steph. Like these are the three phases of basketball that I'm seeing, in my opinion. But I see a little bit of a case for James Harden, but not really. I think it's more like that's specialized. Maybe it's like a Luka or Jason Tatum kind of plays that way a bit. But that could be just more rules than like.
I feel it's more rules for sure.
People found out you could do
like, I don't want to. James Harden is this interesting case because it's like he didn't need the rules to be the player he was. Some of these other guys, yeah, like fucking Luka, yeah, but not James Harden. James Harden could have been who he was without that stupid ass step back.
But I mean, but Harden kind of is like when he was doing it, and then it stopped it wasn't being called as a travel. That's when players like found out like, wait, we can do this, and it's not a travel.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that's not really him. It's the fuck.
Yeah. Yes, but
the league looking the other way.
Giving him a little credit, give him some of it.
Yeah, I got you. No, I'm not. I don't have a problem with that.
Fair enough. All right. Any last thoughts before I end this thing?
When you sent me this today, I'm like, I don't want to hear this shit. But I saw some cringy things, but it was kind of wholesome. He's kind of bullshitting, like where we just left off. He's kind of bullshitting, like I'm not trying to sound like a dick rider, but he does sound like he's downplaying Jordan, like
Yeah.
the whole fucking I was chosen, like that's a little weird, dude. But
that was wild.
But at the end of the I can see the other side of it too, where you're like, yeah, like there's a spiritual connection to it. Like I understand. It's like, bro, let someone else say it. Yeah, like you said, let someone else say it.
Exactly. He could believe that, but it's like,
Yeah, come on, dude.
like, come on, man. You're talking to a shit ton of people to where like you just propped up Steph like, oh, you could be the little man who you talk about Steph and AI like the little guy who can do it. You know, who went
Yeah.
against all the odds and figured it out and all. Like at the same time, you said like I was chosen though. I feel like I was chosen.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
I'll never take away that you're like he's a great face for the league, a great ambassador. I'll never take those things away from him. And yeah, he's an all time great, but it's like, bro, like, then you start talking about like Machiavelli and shit, like you're like, bro, chill out.
But yeah, read the fucking room, bro. Like
Yeah,
actually read the room. I know you have people that will dick ride you no matter what you do. But if me and you LeBron switch places, I could be like, yo, I eat. The reason why I'm good, yo, I eat donkey shit every morning, and it boosts me up. You know what I'm saying? Like I could say that on the internet. If me and LeBron switch fame, right? If he's a nobody like me and I'm a fucking mega star billionaire like he is, I
yeah,
could say some wild shit and people might start following it. So it's like, yo, read the room, bro. When you say certain things, just say
yeah.
it. But like at the same time, like please freely say what you want to say. It's just so we understand. It's gonna look bad. Like, it's a fair warning. Like it's gonna look bad or look narcissistic. It might be narcissistic for all I fucking know. Very well could be. But whatever. I mean, there it is. I'm definitely gonna watch more. If it's more
Yeah.
X's and O's, then like I'm gonna watch it just for that. Like I don't plan on reacting to all these fucking things. Like no way. But if he says something crazy, then I might do that. But or interesting, I might do it. But if it's just straight up like X's and O's after this little introduction video, I don't mind watching that and trying to learn things. I'm not an expert at basketball.
Same.
I'm not gonna, yeah. I'm also not gonna just, dick ride jargon being said. 5x and 4x, down screen thumbs up. Like, okay. 6-4-3 double play. Am I a fucking genius now? Like, no.
No.
So,
At the same time, yeah, I can see people not knowing this shit ahead of time.
100%. 100%. But they're playing,
Just
but listen to the things he mentioned throughout this thing here, Anthony. I was just naturally, I was at 8 years old. I knew, I knew how to do things. I have all my coaches said I have an acute basketball IQ, like things like
yeah,
that, or it's like, what? And the only things I've heard from them so far are, things I think anyone could just figure out if you just look at it a couple times. Obviously, to physically do it would be different, but to mentally understand what's going on, I don't think it takes that much fucking effort. So I guess I'm downplaying LeBron's sports IQ that he was born with until he proves me otherwise. Like, show me some shit where I'm like, wow, that's fucking complex. Do it on the fly. You're fucking Patrick Mahomes out here, bro. God damn. All right. That is it for this little review reaction thing. See you later.